for president here or something? Like, what is it? I just want to party, man. Like, this is how up with your bubbly. It's not musty and stuff. It's totally you just put glasses on and go mess people's shit up. Is what that's like. Oh! Whoa! What the fuck is that? So much better than I thought it was. So much. Yeah! Welcome to Wine and Cheese.
Like the only thing that's missing right here is a glass booth and him to be inside with a headset, like he's a television producer.
Yeah.
But he's got everything else.
It's a good mix of high tech and low tech because y'all threw this together like in 30 minutes. Oh, we got a video and George, figure out how to make this play.
On a jump drive.
Let me tell you something.
Shice.
My favorite part of the Wine and Cheese show is throwing George curveballs like 2 minutes before we go.
I'm sure that is George's favorite part too.
I mean, I don't know. He keeps coming back.
He does keep coming back. Well, George enjoys this kind of thing.
Every
week.
God bless you, buddy.
So I just want to welcome everybody on this sweet-ass Sunday night. A lot of things going on, but I think we hit a little sweet spots for everybody to hang out with us. I have my buddies that before I would have called them members of different things, but tonight we're here to talk about a show that's going to happen this Thursday night at Encore Music Club, starting at 9 o'clock sharp. The doors will open at 8, and it's for Metal Rose, a band that may have been, I started thinking about this, may have been the very first live band that I ever saw.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
You remember where it was?
Well, it was at Panama City.
Oh,
it was in Panama City because I really started thinking about it because about my age,
probably.
And I think I was around the 17 or 18-year-old range, something like that, and I was not a music person. I had never seen a live band.
You were already friends, or you were down there?
I hadn't met y'all. I had met the hangers-on, as we like to call them. Right?
Oh, the Donut Mafia?
Yeah, the Donut Mafia, and we came down there and did that. And I think maybe 6 months later, someone bought me a ticket to go see 9 Inch Nails, and that was the actual first show I ever saw. So,
That became a thing.
The first real show.
yeah, well, no. You got to understand, Jerry. I was someone who grew up playing sports. I thought music was stupid. I was like, why would anybody?
I remember you in that phase.
Right? Why would anybody
okay,
put effort into this? And it did. It seeing live music is what.
And then you got bit by the bug.
Right? Like just seeing the.
Seeing it live.
Trust me, I understand.
Seeing the bass guitar playing and drums.
Right, or just how badass somebody looks fronting a band, or how awesome an amazing drummer sounds.
Right.
And we're going to talk about
the blend of all those things together as well.
It's such a free-flowing thing that I really fell in love with. But so tonight we have Bobby Herner, Jonathan Herner, and Jerry Christopher here tonight.
We got Tree Fists
of Metal Rose.
And at the outset, I think I should say the reason why Dave Rosser's not here. I think everybody sort of knows what's happening with David right now. Anyway, he had a little minor thing that he had to take care of tonight medically. He's fine.
Yeah.
But he couldn't be here.
But we're still doing the thing Thursday, and that's what I told him was the most important thing. Like
is a show, and he said that that'll be fine for the show.
Yeah.
Chad Gilmore is going to be out on the road with Mark Broussard on Thursday.
Old jet
I guess
setter.
you call that busy.
I guess if you like that kind of thing.
I'll be out there. You know what
If you like a guy that can sing like that,
You know what I noticed about Chad is that he's starting to dial it in professionally. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen the kid he's playing lately? He's playing like a snare and like 2 other pieces.
Very small kid.
Very. He's like, I've been there, done that. So
He just wants to sit back and just, and you know
Almost
what?
out of his fill phase.
I think it, right? He's out of his fill phase. He's, so his days are numbered, and that's why Darren will be playing.
And Darren will be playing,
Thursday
and
night.
Darren is not here because he is moving his family's business as we speak, literally. Action Press, which was a print shop in Fat City, which was kind of the heart of Metal Rose when Darren joined the band, because that's where we stored all the gear. That's where we did all the rehearsals.
bus or the.
Got the
van.
I think
first
George-
bagel was
George
parked
lived
there
there,
for
too.
years.
George might have lived there for a short period
Yeah,
of
you
time.
know, but here and there, here and there.
Yeah, I think Shice probably lived there.
Shice.
So anyway, so Darren's not here because Darren's always doing something.
Yeah.
Darren is always doing something.
He really is, and I'm like, I guess
He's
that's
something,
gonna,
isn't he?
That's gonna kind of lead me into. I'm glad you brought that up because here's what I wanted to talk about right away. Is on. I want to throw a little shout out to my co-host, the Czar,
Yes,
who
sir.
I do wine and cheese with, and something he and I have been talking
Who should
about.
be here right now?
Well,
but he's busy
no.
too.
He does his own show
I know.
every Sunday, and he always does, and I really enjoy it. And it'll be going right when we get done this, his Not Real Radio show. But we've been talking the last couple of weeks about he and I getting to a point in our lives, and the end of the year will do this to me, trying to figure out where to put my time and effort, and finding myself being stretched too thin and not being able to make any one thing really successful. It feels like the three of y'all, everything you've ever done was successful. So how do you?
That's a nice compliment, but
I'm
it's
asking,
not true.
like, how do you? What's the secret? What is the secret to being in something and constantly making it successful?
All right, I'll go first. Unless y'all
Starting
wanna
with
go
Metal
first.
Rose.
Well,
Right, the first band Bobby and I were in.
yeah, the short answer, I guess, is like I've been part of a lot of, different projects musically, but it depends on what you define as successful.
Well,
You know what I mean?
long-lasting and
Okay.
Lucrative.
Yeah.
Financially good, critically successful. We're talking about a band that started in 1986, and people are still asking to see it and wanting to see it 30 years later. And in the meantime, all three of you have been in other projects who have all reached
All been successful.
more successful than Metal Rose.
yes,
So
yes.
why? What is it? Why do people like Mark and I struggle with trying to figure out what that is, and why do y'all seem to have no problem?
I would say, well, that's more of a compliment than a statement of fact, but
Sure.
I appreciate it. But what I will say is, I think it's just about tenacity. Like, you just keep plugging away because you don't know eventually where the payoff is going to come. I think for Metal Rose, that started in our bedroom at home. I mean, like,
Yeah.
he started taking guitar lessons. I knew how to play drums, and so Metal Rose started as Jonathan and I just like, pinkering along, and we decided, hey, let's write some originals. There was no lyrics. It was me on drums and Jonathan on guitar, and no bass and no vocals. It was like,
And you were singing?
it's like, no singing. It was like the early
just-
White Stripes.
Oh, okay.
It was just guitar and drums.
Yeah.
And it was like, instrumentals. Anyway.
Yeah.
So we did like this cassette of 5 songs. But one of the songs was called Metal Rose was the name of the song. But they're instrumental, so there's no lyrics. So why, like, Jonathan came up with the name. And I went, oh, that's cool. So eventually, when, Jonathan got better, I got better, met some friends, hey, let's start a band. That got brought up as like, let's make that the name. And it probably was a bit more
I
fashion.
forgot I did that.
I did that.
That's the Yoda thing, by the way.
Yeah.
Did y'all seen the bad lip reading of Yoda on? All right.
I don't
we'll get
think
back
I
to that.
have.
We'll get back to that.
Okay.
That's where that comment came from. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we, back when we started in the mid to late '80s, metal was a big thing. So Metal Rose didn't sound. I mean, like in hindsight, it's a terrible fucking name for a band. But
Do you think it is?
well, like, for me being in the band and having said it so many times, I don't think of the word metal or like a flower either. I just think of us.
Metal Rose.
You know what I'm saying?
Pearl Jam. Like it's
when
a-
you hear Kiss, I don't think of making out. I think of those dudes in the makeup.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say.
So
I
it's
think
like that to me because I've heard it so many times.
a good band kind of overtakes the name. If it's a shitty band with a shitty name, it's a shitty name. But a shitty name in a great band, the band kind of takes that name over. Right.
I
And-
agree.
Right.
I
And
agree.
then so that's why Metal Rose kind of. Same thing with Bag of Donuts. Bag of Donuts. That's kind of out there name.
It's
you
a
know?
weird name.
Yeah, but it works.
But over time. Oh, I was gonna real quick. I just had this thought. Why does it seem like those things worked? Well, you've been fronting a band for about a year and a half, and
Yeah.
been in music for what?
A couple of years,
couple
3,
years.
4 years, yeah.
So, we've been doing it for 30 years.
Yeah.
So it seems like
Yeah.
you know a ton of success. Not really. Probably much more like say that you stick with this for 30 years.
I don't have that type of time now. Because that was the thing. Y'all started in your teens? Did this thing start in your teens?
Yeah, I mean, when we first played Jimmy's, I think I was a junior in high school. So what are you, 16, 17,
Yeah.
16 to 17?
And the
So my
drinking age
parents
was
had to bring
18.
us
So
in.
yeah, mom and dad would come to the show and bring him in and me in as it's okay that they're here. I know that they sell
Why
liquor.
is there no competition between the two of y'all?
Me and Jonathan?
Well, yeah, well, because there's a normal sibling thing, right? Where
We've never
especially
had
two
that.
guys, like,
I don't ever remember Jonathan and I ever having that.
right?
Yeah.
What, is
Or with
that,
Harry either, for that matter. But I mean, but as far as playing music and being on stage, when he shines, then I think that we all shine. So I never felt like, hey, he's taking over my spotlight. Never,
Right.
never,
Yeah.
never.
You guys live with each other too, and Darren. So we would go on the road for like 5 weeks at a time, and then come back home. And these three guys, well Darren's not here, but they were still living together. They were roommates.
yeah,
Yeah, we're together all the time.
right? It's,
Yeah.
And that's something crazy for that to be successful.
I think, you know what? I think the secret is just to keep pushing and pushing because I think that's why Metal Rose gets back together. I don't know what kind of demand there is for it, but I know that we all know, and by the 6 people, I mean Chad and Darren, Davo, and the 3 of us.
Yeah, yeah.
We always remember every one of those shows, whether there was 5 people or 1,000, and there's a lot of great shows and a lot of shows we played that nobody, but every single time, it was great.
Like at the frat house, y'all start playing, they'll come down.
Yeah, that was the thing. Like, be like,
Yeah.
book for a frat party, and there's no one else. No one. Like, no person sweeping floors, nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
And we're like, is the house, is everybody going?
Yeah.
And one guy comes down and goes, hey, man, the guys upstairs, y'all just start playing. And they'll come down and we start playing. Nope.
No, never did come down.
Sometimes never did.
So what? Here's okay. We're gonna go back all the way to the beginning of Metal Rose. What point in your life, all 3 of y'all, were you in when you started this band for the first time?
Like, and like, knew like this is it?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Age-wise, just the stage in life.
I was 4 years old. No, I'm serious.
Yeah, I mean,
But he was killer, so y'all had to have him.
I knew I was playing. I knew I was gonna be playing music when I was 4. I just lucked out and met these guys. But
Yeah.
dude, when I was in garage bands trying to find guys to play with, they wanted to go. They had a test the next day, so we couldn't get together. Like, you'd rather go study than come to band practice?
Yeah.
You kidding me? But
right.
it was like,
You
but
start
that was
early. Priorities, man.
yeah.
I mean,
so-
school's important, but dude,
How
rock
old
and
were
roll.
you at this point?
Oh, this was 15. This was high school.
Wait, so this is when
I fast forwarded.
So we're talking that early teens
Teens.
when Metal Rose started?
In 80,
Yeah.
I think Bobby in 1986 was
Yeah, I
probably
mean,
when we
that's
got
the year that
together.
I graduated from high school, so I was 18. He was 16. When
So-
we really
It was
started
two
going,
other guys.
let's like, let's,
And then
let's
it was
form a band.
about 4 years later when you hit the road,
I think
right?
1990 is when we,
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's always been my biggest
1990, Jesus.
like
Jonathan graduated 89.
Right. It was the end
Right.
of '89, I think, was when we met Steve Klein, and he said, "I'll get y'all on the road. Y'all
So-
can play as much as you want."
right?
And we accomplished it.
So what I look back is, and I think about myself when I was 18, 19, 20, and then I think about y'all, it had to have been a little bit of a disappointment or a very hard decision to make at that age to say, did how many of y'all graduated from college?
All of us.
Really? So how'd you do that when?
Well, all right, Jerry first.
Yeah, how would you?
That's a good story.
Yeah, right. How'd
That's
you
a good
do
story
that?
there.
While
Jerry
still.
joined the band in what year?
So I joined in 91, I think. It was 91. So I was, I had an academic scholarship, any state school I wanted to go to. And
you go.
yeah, I got rid of it to go on the road with Metal Rose. But I tried to do it. My one semester, I tried to go to school, and it didn't work. I basically,
obviously.
I ended up dropping all my classes and resigned because I didn't flunk out. But I tried to do these tests. One time, we had,
We pulled up in the Penske truck.
yeah, we had a
He did a
show.
gig and had a test the next morning.
Yeah, we had a,
So he did a gig and drove him to the campus.
No, it was like a Wednesday night. I think it was Wednesday at the Gin in Oxford.
Oxford,
And this is before cell
6
phone.
hours away.
This is before cell phone. So the truck goes. Darren and Jonathan are in the truck. They go like 10 in the morning, real early. I have class, so Bobby, me, and John Roberts go in the van. I go to class. Well, we break down in Jackson. So that's 3 hours.
We broke down on the way.
Oh,
It's
So
already starting good.
of course you did.
So we're looking at the time, we figured that they never even arrived there. So they had 3 hours for them to arrive from where we broke down to get the message. So then they had to turn back and come get us.
Pull up at the club and they say, you might as well leave. The gig's off. You boys broke down. Driving back home.
That's crazy, man.
So then we had to leave the van
On the road.
on the road. We left the
To get
van
picked up, and we pulled up at UNO.
open up the back of the Hertz
Back in the
Penske
truck,
So
we're back there with all the gear sitting
So it was
on top
only
of
on
the
the
speakers.
vehicle.
Hey, talk about dangerous, breaking all kind of laws. I mean, dude, like one bad turn, the truck flips, all that gear falls on top of
you,
it.
it's done.
Dead.
Dunsky.
We did.
Yeah.
Look,
Right.
Just like, click, click, open it up.
pull up to UNO.
Come to Jerry with
He
hop
jumps out the back of the truck and goes to take his fucking test.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you think about it, I remember being that age, and it's okay to make those type of decisions, but you
gotta be a little fearless at
But
that
y'all
age.
all really made some very, what people would consider poor decisions.
Stupid.
Right? You were like, oh no, I'm gonna go be in this rock band, and
It wasn't too bad. You just dropped out of med school.
Yeah.
I mean, that ain't no big deal.
right?
Yeah, like I basically told Dad, hey, thanks for the free medical school education, but I'm gonna pass.
Yeah.
No student debt at the
I
end.
think that's kind of, I don't know, but do part of y'all think that that's why it was just meant to be? This group of individuals
Well,
to get
I know
together.
one thing that was meant to be for sure is it was meant to be that we, play music for a living.
Right.
For sure, because like I talk about, if I hadn't decided to make that leap of faith, I don't know what I would be like if I didn't play music. Say that I said, you know what, this is a really attractive offer, which it was, to just go to med school and have my dad pay for it, and then I'll just be a doctor. That's not bad. It's great.
Yeah, sounds cool. We're doing what you're doing.
But if
now,
I had
though.
no music in my life, I'd be a
Yeah.
different person than I am now.
You really
and I feel like I'm
would.
happy. And we continue to play music in the Donuts, and Darren's in the Mollies, and Chaz and Mark Russo, and Dave plays with
been all over the
everybody.
world.
He's been over the world. So everybody continues to play.
That's the
So-
next thing I wanted to get to exactly is, when they have guys like from the NFL, like Dick Vermeil and all these great Bill Belichick, and they talk about the Bill Belichick coaching tree, right? You can go back and look at the Metal Rose tree, and you can look at where that started.
It definitely sprouted a
and-
lot of
Oh, we
things.
should have pulled that graphic up. You don't have, Shice,
Right,
you got
yeah.
that graphic?
Where's that graphic of the donuts and then everything?
The Metal Rose. But no, I'm serious. I was here earlier.
Well,
with
you're
the-
right. On some level,
I mean, think about it. Even guys like
that
Chad,
just makes us old. It doesn't mean that we've accomplished a lot.
No, I don't. No, I don't.
They're just jokes.
I don't think so. I think, and I'm gonna ask you if you're even aware of the influence that y'all had on so many musicians. Do you understand that you had that influence on people and did create this like mushroom cloud of musicians and bands and stuff that
Like an atomic bomb.
Okay, so look, let me put it to you this way. This is, I'm being dead serious. I didn't request this text. Woody, a drummer in my band, Woody, he sent me a text early. He sent me a text.
Dublin's teacher?
I'm gonna,
Never heard of them.
No, I'm gonna read it to y'all. I don't know what I don't know what I'd be doing today if it weren't for Metal Rose. You should talk about that tonight. Basically, I don't know that I'd be playing music for a living if they didn't inspire me to be as good a musician as I could be. Okay? Stop. And then
I've never heard that
hold
from
on,
him before,
Hold
by the
on.
way.
And then I pushed him because I wanted to know why. Don't just give me that. What's the reason? And he said, because watching them play made me want to be better. It also made me realize if I watched Darren play enough, I could steal his licks. I didn't know how to groove and sit back in the pocket until I watched them play. Totally inspiring.
Wow.
Right?
Jeez.
So I did not ask for
And
this.
I respect him greatly as a musician. So
Right.
for him to say something like that.
So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, maybe you don't see it because you're on the inside.
Maybe not.
But from the outside, you think I would have ever tried to be in a band? No. I played volleyball and sports forever. But I saw you and I was like, no, I could do that. Right?
But hey, just like real quick, I saw y'all play volleyball. I went, I can do that. And
Yeah.
you went,
And
no,
then-
you can't.
No. Yeah. So, what do you think about when you hear something like that
Yeah, I
from a
mean-
guy like that?
Y'all want to go first? Y'all
Yeah,
go.
Jerry, what do you think about when you hear something like that come from a guy like Woody?
Well, I have nothing but respect for Woody, and I mean, I guess you never know who's watching and what's going on.
Right,
But
it's
I know when I watched Melrose, because I was, looking for a band. This is before the Donuts. This is when I was trying to find bands to guys to jam with, and yeah, it was a battle of the brands. When you're young, you can do any.
Brother Martin High School.
Yeah, you can do any gig. You any opportunity to play, you just play.
Yeah.
There was these kids that opened up for the Donuts this weekend, and we were talking about this really young, still in
Strange
high
Theories
school,
was
strange
amazing.
thing. And this guy, and you could tell they're going to be successful. They're going to be successful. The kid, lead singer, was on The Voice, and
Yeah.
watching this young band, I was inspired to play.
Right.
And
Really
and
sweet kids,
These guys
too.
are just starting, so I mean,
Yeah.
I get that coming
You
from
can
Woody.
pull inspiration from
Yeah.
anywhere, and
Yes.
But yeah, but obviously when you're doing that, you don't think.
No.
When Metal Rose is out there doing that thing, you're not thinking, "Oh, we're inspiring the next generation."
You wouldn't
but-
think that. No, it doesn't cross your mind at all. It's just having so much fun. I guess
Yeah.
that's contagious.
Yeah,
You know,
and-
we're
and it
enjoying
is.
it. We're literally enjoying it so much.
Contagious rock. Warning.
Contagious rock.
Yeah.
That was our horrible logo for a while.
By the way,
Wait.
The
What
reason
was
why
the-
we're laughing is that Stephen Kahn, who is still a very good friend of ours, worked for Network Entertainment in Atlanta. And Stephen was, in large part, a reason why we went on the road and became kind of successful in that way, because he saw us open up for The Cold,
at Jimmy's.
a band called The Cold. They were very big in the early 80s, and they used to pack Jimmy's. And they did like a reunion show, and we were hot at Jimmy's at the time, and so Jimmy put us on the bill. And Steve Kahn saw us, and he approached me. He goes, "Man," he goes, "how often y'all play? Y'all are great. Your energy's great." And I told him, and he goes, "Do y'all want to go work on the road a little bit?" And at that point, like anything to really,
Of course,
jumpstart it.
Yeah.
And he said, "Dude," he goes, "y'all could be so popular in so many places." Anyway, long story short, so Steven, is one that got us up, to 200 shows a year, and like he was responsible for a lot of that
So
stuff.
here's the real question.
And he made a T-shirt called "Warning, Contagious Rock." Metal Rose, we were like, "Dude, this is the fucking worst fucking T-shirt of all time."
Well, let's get 1,000 of them printed.
Yeah, we're gonna
like,
sell the shit out of this.
fucking 8 boxes of these horrible shirts.
How
and
much
then-
did y'all sell? Did you sell a lot of them?
We sell them, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's stupid.
Contagious
And hey,
rock.
it's stupid is there forever. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? But hey,
And then-
Steven, I love you, baby.
I wish I could
And then
have one of
Stephen, he asked Metal Rose try to get the Donuts partnered up with Stephen Klein, and Stephen Klein was ready to get the Donuts on the road, and Donuts, no, didn't want to do it. So I'm like, son of a gun, I know there's gonna be a way. I gotta become the bass player for Metal Rose. I gotta get in with these guys.
He did.
Right, and see that's something about Jerry that still exists now, right? It's just that
Looking for the
drive,
next
right? But here's the
Well,
question.
Jerry's one of those bass players that other bass players go to watch play.
Yeah.
And so when he joined the band, it's like the evolution of real quick, I just want to touch on Woody's
No,
comment.
please.
Is Jonathan's right. You don't think about any of that stuff when you're on stage. I think
Yeah.
because we were having so much fun. And, the band went through some changes. And as each new band member joined, it elevated the musicality of the band. Like
Yeah.
when Rosser joined and when Darren, the band started out that I was the drummer.
Dave's in the band. We were so pumped. Dave.
Right, I'm sure. And
I mean,
I do
I played
wanna-
drums for Metal Rose when we started. I was the drummer
Yeah.
and the lead singer. And Darren was our production guy. Darren
That's
brought
pretty
all his
good,
gear.
right?
He used to sound
the
check.
backup dude.
Sound check Bobby's
Spatang.
drums.
Spatang.
Dude, wait a minute.
Spatang.
So wait, here's the story. It was D&D Sound down in Dino. You have this guy named Dino, this like Italian guy, and they hauled all their sound gear in an ambulance.
Yeah. What?
Yep.
Wait.
Yes.
So wait, this is
So they
good.
set it up and Darren.
Wait, in an ambulance.
Yeah, they packed lights and shit, all crammed into like a gutted out. Dude, it was a straight up ambulance. Like it
No
looked like,
shit.
but we pull up to a gig, it's like, like the EMS had been called. Seriously, dude, this is a great party, dude, the fucking ambulance is here. But anyway, long
But then
story short,
Darren's sound checking Bobby's kit.
Darren's
Yeah.
We're
like,
like,
hey,
why
dude,
the hell are you playing drums?
Right? Is that how that happened?
Yeah.
oh, it's totally how it happened.
Yeah.
In fact, we already loved Darren. I mean, to know him is
Yeah.
to love him. He's
Right.
he's funny as shit. He's hardworking. He
He's
knows
a
his stuff.
badass, too.
He's a badass. So
Yeah.
so we'd rent his production, and we sounded great. And Darren, just one day, not trying to be cocky, and like, goes, "Hey, dude, go walk out front. Let me play the kit and see what you think about how it sounds."
Yeah.
That's, like I'm the drummer.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's our sound guy.
Yeah.
If
Right.
we get this
So
dude, we'll
eventually-
get free PA.
So eventually, like after like
Put him in
15
the
sound
band.
checks. I was just
Yeah.
like, dude, fuck this. Like, you
Yeah.
are the drummer for the band. Like, no, dude, I already got a band. I'm like, what,
Yeah.
Out of Control is your band?
They're working a lot because you're doing all these sound gigs.
Right.
with us.
Ouch!
Oh man.
No offense to anybody in Out of Control.
Well, I mean,
But anyway, so we finally
Rosiano.
convinced him. No, and the way that it started too is I remember Darren saying, "Dude, you got like a good personality and good, like an energy. You should be a lead singer out front." I'm like, "I don't want to do that." So one day when he said that, I went, "All right, so you're the drummer." And that's when he said, "No, I can't do it." So it did start with Darren. Darren was the first person to tell me with confidence, "You need to be out front singing for a band."
and that's surprising.
He's the very first person that ever said that to me, and and feeling that way about the way that Darren played, I'm like, well, this guy's really good. Like, maybe I should think about that.
That surprises me because
That's where the cowbell comes from.
I think anybody who's ever seen you wouldn't think that there was that not confidence issue, but I would have thought you would have known you were the front guy from the beginning.
I was the
Right,
singer.
like-
I was the singer, but not the front man. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? So
yeah.
I was Don Henley. I was the drummer and the singer.
Ah,
I mean, not that I was Don Henley because I
Yeah,
wasn't either
I'm
in the
Don
singing or the
Henley.
drum playing. But
Yeah.
but in fact, that's where the cowbell came from. Is that I needed something to do with my hands once I got out front, and I had a natural feel for some percussion, and so that's how that started. I needed something to do because I got
Interesting.
nervous energy.
Interesting.
Speaking of nervous energy, I know we're in the middle of a show. Is it okay if I jump up and you ask me a question and I go use the restroom?
Go pee. It's right
Hey,
there.
turn this
That's
off.
the
I don't
main-
want the audience to hear what's about to happen.
no. Let it happen.
Let's cut to the video.
Yeah. So, no. So while Bobby's peeing, John, we're talking about what he was doing when Metal Rose started. So here's the question that I really want to know: if Metal Rose is so great, why are all these other bands in existence, and why hasn't Metal Rose stayed together forever, and why doesn't Metal Rose exist right now as the best band that does what they do? Why did all these other bands get created? Why did it break up?
Kids. That could be it. It could be it. Well, I know at the time, you definitely had Pamela already. But Darren was ready to get out, so he got out. We met up with Chad Gilmore and kept it on the road for a little while longer, but kind of just felt it was the time to potentially go back to school, do other things, see what else.
Were y'all wrong? Were you wrong? I feel like you were wrong. It wasn't the time to go. Obviously, it wasn't the time to go back to school and try other stuff.
Well, at least with the crowds we were pulling, I think those numbers, some of that stuff was all
started to drop a
slowly
little
dropping
bit.
off, so
Really?
you can get a feel for that, and you
Yeah.
kind of like, let's go explore this other stuff, school, whatever, and we
Sometimes
can always go
it-
back to
It's good
music.
to step away sometimes.
And also going in other bands just kind of happened by happenstance at the time. You know,
Right.
it wasn't a plan to get out of Metal Rose to join another band. It was really to go back to school.
Yeah.
And then.
And sometimes something is only meant to last for a certain amount of time and be a spark, and then it just kind of departs, and you move
Yeah.
on to this. So, you know what? Like in hindsight, maybe that was the reason we got together. That's where we all got our musical teeth cut.
I
And
remember Cam from the Velcro Pygmies said a good thing. It was like, we're all riding on the interstate, and at one point you guys just decided to exit off the
just got off the interstate.
Yeah, because it does seem weird to
And
like.
got back on in a bag of donuts, Winnebago.
Steve Klein, we some attention. We weren't like the #1 focus anymore with Steve and Network.
Right.
They picked up Dead Eye Dick. They picked up
That's
Cowboy
true too.
Mouth.
That's true too. Things changed, like in the music business, also. You know, I think our numbers were great for a while, but they dropped off. I think that's true.
all the colleges we were
And the
playing.
donuts, you know, I thought about just driving over here. You know, the impetus for and the donuts here in New Orleans were really starting to explode. Like,
Yeah.
you know, remember, this is no Maui's, no Chiwis, no really anybody. Nobody did the thing that they did. So, like, they'd go play at No Cellos and 1,200 people would show up.
Yeah.
Every time. So, you know, I mean, when one thing is sort of doing this and another thing is doing this, it's natural to go, well, let's explore this for a
Yeah,
little while.
let's run this thing, huh?
And you know, and Chad joined the band, and that was a whole nother spark. Which you know, in fact, real quick, I thought about this. This guy did production. Darren left the band, and so all the PA went with us. You know, went
With
with
him,
I mean,
yeah.
now remember, Darren at the time, you know, had his daughter Lauren, and so Lauren was a little child, and he wanted to be with her.
Yeah.
You can't argue with that. You know, so Chad comes in, and he's a monster too. Of
course.
And we're like, wow, thank God.
Yeah.
You know? So this guy, Mark Lewis, started doing production for us. He lived in Chattanooga. He was an awesome guy, really long hair, total rock and roll, the sweetest guy, great sound man. And he just loved us. We got clicked right away, and he wound up doing all of our shows from that point. He's like, that's it. I'm cutting all my other fucking accounts up. I just want to do sound with you guys.
Yeah.
So Chad couldn't make a show, and Darren came and filled in one time, and Mark did sound and heard Darren play, and he goes, "You motherfuckers." I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Dude, I've probably been doing sound for bands for 25 years, and a lot of bands suck. And once in a while, there'll be a band that comes on that's great, and they have a great drummer. Y'all have 2 great drummers in your band."
Well, it is. It's
And it really,
insane.
like, it hit
Yeah.
me. So maybe that's why there's been a longevity with the band too, is because I think there's a lot of, guys that played from the heart, but they were good players.
Yeah.
I consider myself one of the weaker links of the 6 of us, which is fine to think like that, because I'm with
Sometimes
some
that's
really
okay, yeah.
world class.
And you were a drummer.
Yeah.
For Stas Gordon.
Yeah.
Yet another offshoot.
No, for Metal Rose.
And Metal Rose.
No,
Well,
I think that's amazing. One thing,
Dr-
George,
drummer.
we
He owned a kid.
actually, I think we've got some footage. Which, hold on, don't play it yet.
Well, I think it builds up anyway, but
Yeah, go ahead and play it.
20 minutes are like foolishness.
Hold on a
so.
second. We're about to show some footage, and here it comes. Jonathan, tell us
This is good here.
what this footage is.
Yeah, this is a mixture of all done
So there's your
with a
dates.
giant VHS camera at the time. There's the dates, and I went probably about maybe 5 years ago, I don't know, something like that. I just went and pulled all that VHS stuff out and made it digital just so I could see some of this old stuff.
That's in Tuscaloosa. I
and
can
put
tell.
this together.
Dude, Bobby,
over
you're
the
a
years.
fucking insane person, man. Like, look at him. He looks like a little jumping bean.
Well,
That was
I
at the
think,
Tusk in Tuscaloosa.
in Tuscaloosa.
right?
There we
Look
go.
at all the people.
There we go. Yeah.
Wait. So where was this?
That's in Tuscaloosa. That was I remember that show. That's when the fire marshal shut the show down because they couldn't fit any more people, and they had
Really?
violated, the law, because there was, probably 1,000 people packed in a place that hold 600.
That's just crazy.
Well, that's
Who's in the
Tuscaloosa.
band at this moment right here?
All right, on the right playing guitar, that's John Roberts. That's the guy before Rosser.
Okay.
That's me. That's Jerry on next to him. Darren, of course, right there
Yeah.
you go. There's Darren,
Yeah.
and then Jonathan, of course. So
Man.
the band. Look,
Look
at
at
Jerry.
Donut.
So the only person that
He looks
changed.
the same.
Yeah.
Jerry, you look.
I got a
Yeah,
haircut
Jonathan.
since then.
I mean, dude.
So the only person that changed from this song about that's John Roberts, who now lives in Idaho.
Yeah, but we had Rosser, so good riddance to this Roberts guy, right?
Well,
Right?
by
I
the
mean,
way,
come on, you got Rosser.
So
Dave's in the band.
there we go.
That's another. I was an Ole Miss.
Yep.
I was on a boat.
It's on a boat. It's on a river boat. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. That's me. I'm hanging up in the rafters at that same club. You see? Watch. See? That's This is when Pearl Jam was big, so I was
Better
stealing
got
the
that
fucking
guy.
Vetter shit.
Well, that's
straight
okay.
up.
Yeah, and that's fine to steal it, but dude.
See? There we go. There's another one. Climbing up in the rafters. That's
like
White Street.
White Street, Athens.
In fact, that place was a huge club for us. And let me tell you about, like here today, going later today.
Mm-hmm.
That place, every time we played it, it's an old train station. We went there the first time, 40 people. Next time, 150. Boom. And then all of a sudden it was 1,000 people every time. And then guess what? We went back one time and nobody showed up.
Really?
Yep.
It
It's
was
like,
one of my first experiences like that. It was like literally they had a meeting and they're like,
they're not cool anymore.
Yeah, you're right. Like, not cool
But
anymore.
previously they had the meeting 2 years ago and said Metal Rose is in.
Yeah.
So you just never know when you're in or out.
So
Every
that's
band
what-
goes through that, dude.
So I guess that I don't hope y'all aren't. Dude, this
Look at
footage
that.
is just so amazing.
But
Like,
look, there's John Roberts. And
Yeah, you had to buy magazines.
watch Jerry.
what's a magazine?
Yeah.
It's just like it's going. So that
Look at
perfect.
Jerry. Look, he's reading the edition of Bass magazine. It's it's Bass Fisherman.
Neil
Hey, bro,
Heisel.
give me some bass.
Look, there's Neil
magazines.
There's
Heisel.
Neil Heisel. Look, there's Bean
Yeah.
Rosser.
Davo with the long hair.
Man, just that is. These are some. Wait, is that Davo?
That's Davo.
Oh, so
Yep.
look. Tell me, as this is
Chad
still
Gilmore.
Look at Chad with a ponytail.
Oh man, I'm so in love with that dude. So look, tell me, how did it come about?
Two big
while This
cookies.
is playing.
Two big
How
cookies.
did Davo? So
Okay.
wait, but before we get there, I want to put some perspective in the fact that Dave Rosser is a world class,
A giant.
Yes.
A giant.
guitar player. Musician. He is the guitar player for the Afghan Wigs and
Like,
some.
Twilight Singers. He's
Dude.
played on numerous records. He's
does-
toured the world 5 times.
Right. How does a guy like that find his way into a band like Metal Rose?
Okay. But Y'all want to go? Or you want to go?
Dwayne Beasley, the collectibles.
Dwayne Beasley.
When we played in Auburn,
Our first time in Auburn.
yeah,
Auburn, Alabama.
Yeah.
University of Auburn.
rented PA.
Yeah, production was provided or
production.
whatever.
It was from this guy Dwayne Beasley.
Who's really, really sweet.
He
guy.
has a band. He's go figure, a drummer with a PA, right?
Right.
Yeah.
He came to Davo's benefit,
Yeah.
actually.
And
Dwayne
Dave
was
was
there.
his guitar player, so Dave was helping him do sound. So we met those guys, and we played some shows with the collectibles, and we saw Dave play. I'm like, holy cow, that guy's great. So
Right.
when we needed a guitar player, I mean, it was like the list was pretty short. I think it was Mike Napolitano and Dave Rosser were the only
Right.
two guys
That's
that
a pretty
we
ridiculous
had on
short
there.
list, though.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
We were all right. Man.
What the fuck?
Well,
Is that just luck?
luck.
Is that all it is? Is just luck?
And you were living, weren't you
greatness
living with
attracts.
Happy at the time? So yeah. You were, Bobby was living with Mike and was like,
great
nah,
magnet.
Mike ain't gonna do this gig with us.
Yeah. Like I asked Mike, he's like, dude, he goes, y'all don't want me, bro.
Yeah.
Which pretty much meant I don't want to do that crap.
Yeah, I ain't into that bullshit. You
But to
know.
be honest, I think that Mike was working on some other stuff, and Mike's the type of guy like Mike played in cover bands. Like that wasn't something that he was like that was beneath him. It wasn't like
Yeah.
that.
When we had Davo, I remember the first gig. We're all looking at each other. Dude, we had Davo.
Davo's in the band.
bro.
Like we've been feeling that way since the first gig.
First
this
gig.
is the way we saw him play.
But
like,
you realize he feels the same way, though, right?
yes,
Davo's
I do
feelings
now.
are that he doesn't understand why y'all accepted him like that. Like
Well, I mean, the reason
right?
why is because this is why we saw him before we knew him and went, wow, that guitar player is amazing. God, he's really
We always
good.
had a great time hanging.
And we
every
met him
time-
afterwards, and he was a sweetheart. And we went,
Yeah.
wow, now I really love him. He's talented
Yeah.
and he's sweet. And it just got to be the thing that when John Roberts left the band, we went, well, there's one fucking choice, really. I mean, like I talked to Mike and I lived with him. Mike's like, no, I'm like, dude, it's got to be Rosser. We went, Rosser. So we called
But he
him.
lives in
and said,
Alabama, so you're like, I don't know if he's going to want to commit
right?
to.
Right?
I mean, he can meet us out. How's he going to want to
But
do
he
it?
moved.
And
right?
he said, I'll
He
just
did.
move to New
I-
Orleans.
well,
I had to make.
wait, it didn't hurt.
I made the call.
Now,
Yeah.
you made the call.
Right?
Oh, you did.
Hey,
Yeah.
Russ,
What'd you
you're
say to
moving.
him?
And I was pretty nervous. I'm like, this guy's gonna say no, but we gotta,
The guy that's good don't want to be in Melrose.
Yeah, and we offered him, come in as an equal fifth member.
Yeah.
Which was not
Right
that
away, right?
Right. Say, look, you're
Partner
coming
right
in,
away.
You're an equal fifth
Which-
member
You
in
can
the
make
band.
equally the $50 we make.
Yeah,
every year.
and it's not that much. As busy as we are, it's not that
We
great.
play 200 gigs a year, but we make $300 a week.
Yeah, it's
Big overhead.
awesome. Yeah.
Big overhead.
Big overhead.
That should have been the name of the band.
What? Big overhead. Big overhead dynamite or whatever the fuck that name.
And so, what'd you tell him?
And he came down.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
He said,
'Cause
yeah,
I'm-
I'll come move to New Orleans. I'll change everything.
Well, and look,
He
if,
did.
if you listen to what Davo says, it sounds like he was equally, if not more, nervous to receive the phone call that you made. Right? He wasn't all high and mighty about his skills and all.
No.
He tells me
To this day,
He
he's not.
tells me he doesn't know why y'all offered an awkward kid from Alabama a job.
The only thing I can say is I think I speak for everybody, but maybe I don't. But I fell in love with him. I fell in love with his artistry, and I fell in love with the way that he plays.
Yeah.
All that was just
And it's ridiculous.
yeah. And so I said, you know what? I mean, sometimes like the heavens, like they open up and they like show you something and they give you some luck, and that was our opportunity, and we
Yeah.
seized it. And we joked, even like just 6 months in the band, someone's gonna come along and snatch him away from us. I mean,
Like,
we
you think
always knew that was coming.
Yeah.
Always.
When there's that type of talent, you'd think.
And so when Metal Rose, started to downsize and we, like Donuts took off and blah, blah, and Darren came with the Donuts and did production and then eventually joined the Mollies.
Yeah.
But Davo, he got gigs right away and was just like one got better than the next one, the next one, the next one. And so, Davo's stature and really Chad's stature too.
Yeah.
Both have toured the world and, their stature is deserved because their playing is, at the biggest levels,
at
the
the
highest
top.
levels
It
that you could
100%
want.
is, yeah.
And they're both awesome people.
Yeah.
And the one thing about Jerry, me, Jonathan, Darren, Davo, and Chad is all of those like watching all that, all those memories from the setting up for the gig to the tearing down to the eating breakfast together after the show. We always got along.
That's the secret.
There's a
right?
million laughs all the time.
This is something that
We all
and
really loved each other and do to this day, and I think that's why that still continues.
obviously I've been tagging along with y'all for who knows how long, and if you're the reason that I wanted to try and get on stage and do stuff, and then going in and out of that whole process, I think I've 100% realized that the chemistry is more important than
It's
the talent
everything.
is.
Yeah.
Right? The chemistry, the talent almost doesn't matter.
Metal Rose got lucky because we had the chemistry and the talent.
Right?
It's like in
And-
sports with basketball.
Yeah,
And if you take away
Right,
some of those
exactly.
players, then they're not good at other
Right,
places.
and I guess that's what y'all just did, get a little lucky to just have all that come
Shit.
together.
I mean, I think that we got a
But
lot lucky.
I have
actually.
heard that there was some interesting competitions back in the day. I'm not gonna say, I don't know who.
I know where he got this.
Well, wait. I heard a story about a garden hose going in a mailbox slot one time. What? And look, this is, back when I used to hang
Of
with
course, I
y'all,
know what you're talking about.
I used to eat a lot of acid and things like that.
But
It
we
was
all
just a
did
great
that.
time. But yeah, so tell me the story about the garden hose and the mailbox. What? Bring.
All right,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
I'll jump in, and Jonathan, please feel free.
Yeah.
So, once we started playing a lot,
Metal Rose.
yes,
Okay.
and Darren was in the band.
Yeah.
There was an opportunity for us to rent a house in Metairie, me, Darren, and Jonathan. So we did. We each took a bedroom and we paid our rent. And it was right around that time that I think that we brought you into the band, right?
Jerry,
So,
yeah.
so Jerry played a few gigs with Metal Rose, and it was great.
Yeah.
You know,
But we took them from another man.
right?
Which band was that?
Because
These guys bag of donuts.
Oh, wait. Okay. See, now I remember why I wanted to hear about this. Okay, so y'all.
so Bag of Donuts was Kevin George,
Yeah.
John Duplantis, Kevin Trahan, Steve Bouton, and Jerry Christopher.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Jonathan wasn't in the band. I was nowhere near
And
the
y'all
band.
stole.
No, we were friends. We were all friends.
Yeah.
Right, by stealing, meaning we called them and said, "Do you want to come play a lot of gigs or 3 gigs a year?" And dumbass says, "I guess I'll go with Metal Rose."
Yeah.
Because yeah, to be fair, Bag of Donuts
The
played.
donuts to partner up with Steve McCline. Y'all were helping us. Like, hey,
We were. Kevin Trahan and I would talk a lot, and I say, look,
We were
dude,
fans of the donuts. We thought they were hilarious.
we loved
And
it.
I loved
We
going to
loved
see
it.
the
I
donuts.
tried to get him on our management, and he went, nah. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah. That's
So anyway,
weird. Yeah.
Sounds like work.
So our old bass player left, and Jerry was a monster. And
Yeah.
so we're like, dude, let's get Jerry in the band. So we come home from a gig one time, and there's a garden hose shoved in our, some folks have the mailbox that's a door where you just can reach in and shove the mail. So they just
Yeah.
shoved the hose in there.
Yeah.
And just turned it on.
Wait. Who
And
did,
flooded
who-
our living room.
Who did what to who?
Kevin Trahan,
Yeah.
Steve Bouton, and maybe Kevin was involved. I don't know if he
Yeah.
was.
And they flooded y'all's house?
Well, they flooded the living room, yeah. But
He claims it was a bad attempt. It was supposed to be set up to when
When you
we
opened the door, the hose
it
came
was
on.
going to shoot out and get
Oh,
us wet.
is that what it
But
was
it
supposed
instead
to do?
fell
But they
in the house.
fucked up.
Couldn't even get that right.
Yeah.
And listen. To be fair, I understand why they were upset in that, Jerry's fantastic, and they didn't want to lose their fantastic bass player.
Yeah.
But they were playing a few gigs a year. We were playing 4 or 5 shows every week.
Yeah.
And so one day, Mike Napolitano, well, this is funny how it all comes back together.
Yeah.
Mike Napolitano was at my house with Darren and Chad, Darren and Jonathan. And Kevin Trahan and Steve Bouton come over to my house after drinking a bunch of beers, and they want to confront us on why are you stealing our bass player.
Oh, really?
So I'm like, all right,
Wow,
well, let's
getting intense.
let's
Getting
talk.
intense,
So we
yeah.
go outside and sit on the back of an El Camino. I don't know whose El Camino it was. We sat literally outside in the back of a pickup truck. Everybody's sitting on the thing
Must have been the neighbors. Huh?
drinking beers, and they're sort of letting us have the riot act about it. Like, dude, that ain't cool, man. Like, y'all taking our bass player. I'm like, look, like no offense, but y'all just work a few gigs a year. Like we're working all the time. He can still do your shows and our shows.
Yeah.
They weren't having it. So eventually, Mike Napolitano, who's there visiting, is listening passively for like 30 minutes to all this. And he finally goes, wait. He goes, dude, look. He goes, y'all never play. they play all the time. You guys can get any dude to dress up like a chicken and play bass. and they were so demoralized that I think they like finished their beer and left. Like they didn't even try to argue anymore.
Dress up like
A chicken and play bass.
Oh,
And
my
so for a
God.
while we did this with
Yeah,
Jerry.
yeah. So for a while, this was a joke. Hey, who's fucking up right now? Hey, is that a C? Is that a D or a...
Oh man. See,
So anyway,
that's-
and
that-
look, that's nothing against
Wow.
those guys. I mean,
No,
look,
it's-
Bag
I
of
think
Donuts
it's an
went on
amazing
to have great
story, though.
success with Boots on them for years after
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
We just, found a way to work it out. But then the donuts started to like explode, and Metal Rose started to, hey, from now on, you don't forget that shit now.
Chicken who plays
Y'all
bass.
can get up anybody dressed up like a chicken and play bass. And it was
Yeah.
like, damn.
That that's good
Dude,
shit.
he just like took like some cold water and just on both their faces.
Yeah.
You know.
And then, well, look, and then the rest is history. Shice, where we at? How we looking, bro? You got some time on us or what? 45. Okay. All right. Well, so we're gonna keep going here, man.
We should do like an hour and 15 for this one.
Oh no. I'm not ready to be done at all. I'm
Okay.
just.
I'm not talking too much. You guys feel like you're getting your say?
I'm good.
Hey, Bobby, you talking
got a
too
little
much.
cold,
You- I got a little.
See, I mean, I don't want
cold.
to say my voice. For
Hey,
Thursday.
one last thing that I wanted to say that's in my mind, that's been in my mind since you said that, but the Woody thing, the last thing that I wanted to say is,
That was crazy.
some
that he-
people-
hold on,
there's some
hold on.
people-
That was crazy that he texted me that.
Yeah.
That was.
I've never heard that from him
Wait,
before.
that was.
Thank you, Woodrow.
That was an hour before y'all showed up, and I'm telling you, because anytime I do something like this, I'll dig around to your friends and people that
gotcha.
you and just say, hey, you got anything? I'm talking to these guys tonight, and he was the third one that automatically said the inspiration part of the whole story. Like, so that's why I wanted to bring it up because.
There was a lot of moments on stage, whether it was a good crowd or bad crowd, that I remember that like we'd hit some harmonies really right, or the band would play some song, but we'd play it with so much passion and emotion and perfectly. Like at the end, I'd be like, wow, that was great.
Yeah.
To us, I think that's why we were so smiley all the time, is it
Yeah.
felt so good. So, to make some other people feel that way is great, but to make someone that also now plays music for a living feel like that I respect.
Phil was
really
the-
it's probably the ultimate compliment.
Phil
really.
Upton in my band, he was the first one when we were loading up for the gig the other night. He told me, he's like, I saw you had Metal Rose coming on. Let them know that they're one of the reasons I play guitar
Wow, that's
and like front the band, right?
Yeah.
It's great. It's crazy to hear that, but
But like, it almost makes me not comfortable to hear that, but I feel like it's a little undeserved. And
Nah.
maybe that's for people that achieve huge success, like a Freddie Mercury. When people
Yeah.
go, dude, you changed my life, and you feel like, that can't be real. Like, that can't be right. Like, I changed your life. Why? Because I was singing a few songs.
so here's what I want to know
But
personally.
art and music and passion, that inspires people.
How do you
so.
how do y'all keep up the passion at this point? How do you just still continue?
Luckily, it just exists. It's just there. You don't have to really keep
You're not
it
even-
up. It's just
you're not
playing
even
music.
trying.
It's like, damn, man, this is fun.
Well, to be honest with you, it sounds like that the three of us, right here at least, dropped out of college to play music. Now, we all did go back.
You three insane people.
And got
That's
our
why it
degrees.
worked.
But we
You
all
three
went back-
crazy people that.
But I'm saying, but the very thing that drove us to go, college, you know what, I'll see you in 4 or 5 years. But right now, I'm young, and I feel like I have a talent for this, I'm gonna do it. So, I think the very thing that made us do that and make that leap of faith, it's still inside of us all now, which is we love music. We love to play it all the time.
So what was the greatest that Metal Rose ever accomplished? I have some things.
That's individual features, but I got a
that are
couple.
ringing around in my head. I know I've heard the name Cheap Trick thrown around.
We opened
Y'all
up for
play
Cheap
with
Trick.
them, but what was the pinnacle? Like thinking back, and it doesn't have to be the biggest gig. It could be
I
like
got one.
the greatest night.
But go ahead.
Well, I mean, there's a whole bunch, but I'm sorry. Yeah.
That's okay.
The benefit with Rosso, like that we just did, that was
Really?
Oh yeah, I mean that was.
That's a
That
great
was-
answer.
that-
That's
and
great.
you know what? That was
That,
special.
yeah,
feel everything
You could
that
feel
night.
it. Yeah, you could totally feel it.
Yeah, when
at that
Dave
gig.
took his hat off and explained to what the band meant to him.
Oh man, I tell you what, Bobby,
Jerry's right. Like, that was a really special moment. Look, I
it
get a little
chokes me up
misty-eyed
now.
thinking, yeah.
It does. thinking about it chokes me up now. But so that's
a good answer.
I'm glad to hear
Jerry.
that was something that night came together.
And it's funny for him to say, as long as the band's been together, that maybe one of the best moments ever was the one that just happened.
Yeah.
You know, and the band doesn't even regularly work anymore.
So, but
That's
maybe
not really.
maybe Thursday at Encore we can tap into that magic. So.
That is,
Right?
dude,
And
that
that's
is fucking good promo right there, bro. Wow, I see where you were going now.
That's okay. Look, don't worry. Look, from my experience, it's better to just be to do an awesome show than it is to plug what you're doing next. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha,
like,
right,
you know what I mean?
right.
Like people
Yeah.
will look back on this and really enjoy this, and that'll make them want to come out Thursday night. And I got a feeling
Yeah, y'all should come
Thursday
out.
night. I got a feeling Thursday night is going to be a really good night because I have a warm feeling about it. I am like so ready to be out there and just be in that moment.
And we don't get to
that
do
night.
it often because
Right.
we're all working musicians with
Yeah.
other stuff going on. So it's hard to get the 5 of us together, or the 6 if we can have the 2 drummers. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's
No,
it doesn't happen often.
And I have to say, it's special. It's special every single time.
But what about for you? What was the best?
There's a couple that came to my
take
mind.
me to the past. What was the best gig?
All right.
Metal Rose
So
ever played?
first of all, I'll define best as when I was young and what I thought would be like the best gig. A couple of-
Memorable, meaning you're
One was we played a College Station Theater in Tuscaloosa, which was an old movie theater that was gutted out, and they turned it into a club. They put a big stage and a huge PA, and we used to kill in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
Kill it. We'd play the Thursday night before classes started, at the start of the...
yeah.
And the video, so that video is from the year that they were ranked preseason #1 in football, and they went all the way and won the national championship. So the campus was on fire.
92. That was 92.
Right.
Look at you.
90, yeah, I know that.
See?
Jay Barker was the quarterback. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
You
keep
fag.
going. Yeah.
So anyway, so we played, and you know, like the place filled up quick, and the owner or the manager came back to us, and this was like in '92, so we're all pretty young. And he said, "Listen, I just want y'all to know, the show is sold out. Y'all have now like officially drawn more people than anybody else ever in this club, even more than Driving and Crying, who was here last week. And Driving and Crying in '92 was huge.
Yeah.
And so like." Do they know that it's a cover band's
Yeah,
going on stage?
Jungle
how the fuck?
Boogie.
How the fuck? So
Don't you people have class?
Yeah.
and so right before, so the backstage is like above the stage, and you got to walk down this flight of steps, and then you walk right onto the stage. And so right before the show, they kill the lights, and you hear like that roar came over
Yeah.
a packed
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
And I got the goosebumps, and I thought, this is what I've been waiting for my whole life, because I've done enough shows now where whether it's 1,200 or 12,000, you know,
Or 12.
past a certain point of
Or
people,
yeah,
past
yeah.
a certain crowd, it doesn't really matter anymore.
No, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But for 1,200 people, and it felt like when we went on stage that they were standing on tables and chairs, like it was like pandemonium.
Yeah,
It's
and
like
that's-
so for a minute I felt like I was in the Beatles or something.
Yeah.
So that was a great moment to have. It didn't, last that long, and there was many other great nights. But I remember that was the first time that I felt that huge rush of, I guess we're doing something right. you
Yeah,
know?
exactly.
And
What
open it
about-
up, if a Cheap Trick, this is a little
Yeah.
different, but so Steve Klein calls and goes, hey, I got y'all an opening slot at the Great American Cook-Off at Stone Mountain Amphitheater in Georgia, in Atlanta. And y'all gonna be the band that plays right before Cheap Trick. And Cheap Trick had that hit, The Flame. The Flame was like a #1 hit for them, so they were huge again.
Yeah.
So did they know they were a cover band?
Exactly.
Why are we opening for Cheap Trick?
Yeah.
So
We
we
had
walk
some
out.
originals.
Yeah, some really shitty ones, but we had some.
We had some shitty originals.
Come on, bro.
Come on, bro.
So it's raining, and most of the stage is covered except for this lip on the stage, and we walk out and we're plugging in, and it's probably by that point the biggest crowd we'd ever played in front
And
of.
no real sound check or nothing.
None.
So you're like,
Line
yeah,
check,
yeah,
and
yeah,
plug in, and just play
that
it.
stuff.
And it's like 15,000. Like it looked like an ocean of people to us, but it was
Yeah.
like drizzly and raining, but it was packed.
And they weren't just indifferent to us.
Oh yeah, when we came out on stage and plugged in, they were banging on the.
Oh, they booed?
No, they said cheap trick, cheap trick, cheap trick. We hadn't played a note. Like, wait a minute, we have an hour set. And then cheap trick, we're like, dude, we're fucked. We're fucked. They already hate us.
Yeah.
So everything that
That's
you
awesome.
know about playing music, you can get rid of that now.
Yeah.
Because they hate you.
Now you're nervous. You're like,
Yeah.
I wasn't
Yeah.
nervous a second ago.
Oh, I 100% would have been nervous.
So we opened the show with Funk 49 by James Gang, or Joe Walk.
Yeah.
So I run out to the part of the stage that has not been covered by the rain, and it kick and as soon as that happens, I go to run, and I slip and I fall completely on my back.
Oh no!
Back, boom! Like a splash went up when I hit. That's how hard I hit the stage, and the whole crowd went. All of them.
I think they really hate us now.
Yeah.
15. No. Like they didn't like me, and so to see me fall, they loved it, and then and so like I stood up and I just put my hands up like this, like I was Freddie Mercury, like I had done something, and we just did, as the saying goes now, and back in us, just do the material.
Yeah.
We did the material and did our usual energy, and by the end we finished, and they demanded an encore.
No
So
shit.
we did an encore.
Wow.
And we walked off the stage
That's
like
gotta
kings.
feel amazing.
And so, that's going to the big league, where you're completely unknown. Now, it's covers, it's not original, so, don't think that I'm making it out more than it is.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't have the same
But when you're
impact.
young and you just want to play music for a living, and then you have a moment like that. So that sticks with me. And then, so part 3 of the answer is, and then there's 1,000 moments that nobody knows about that just got shared between the 5 of us, where I'm like, God, we sound so good right now. And I just got this warmest feeling of like, this is what it's all about.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. That feeling came at all different times. Nobody, packed house, it didn't matter. Just, like the harmonies, like the 3-part harmonies would hit right, or Jerry and Dan would lock up in a way that they never did before. And Davo would just be Davo all the time.
Yeah.
So that's probably the answer I can give.
Yeah,
But Jerry's
no,
answer is really good. I like Jerry's answer.
That
I was gonna
sounds
steal it,
amazing.
but
I
can't
wish
now.
that thing wouldn't just jump. Oh, this is what I wanted to make sure that I got to before we ended, because we are, I think all 4 of us, and I think all 6, 7 of the members, born and raised in New Orleans, right? So.
No.
Davo's from Alabama.
He's from
That's
Gadsden,
right.
Alabama.
So,
but
what-
yes, other than that.
How much does New Orleans? What does New
Factor in?
Yes. How big of
lot.
a part does New Orleans play in
so
all the year?
I'll start to tie into your previous question, because I would say one of my most memorable gigs was we got to open up for the Neville Brothers at House of Blues on
Wow.
Bacchus Sunday.
Nice.
And I even remember
That is quintessentially New
I
Orleans.
went to Bacchus, and I had my amp on a little cart and my guitar, so I could go watch the parade for a little while, the early part of it on the podium.
Yeah.
And I walked all the way to House of Blues with my guitar amp and my guitar.
Wow.
And got to go on stage to obviously sold out and play before the Neville Brothers. So
Wow.
that
Yes.
means a lot, because
That's a great story.
their inspiration and they're in our
Yeah.
blood, and the meters
They're the
and
first
all
family.
That
Well,
stuff.
that ties into growing up here.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
perfect.
So that means a lot. The growing up in New Orleans is in us.
What about Jerry?
Yes.
In the music.
Your style, your love for music, like how much of that is just this New Orleans vibe, and how much of it is not? Like, is that, because even the bands that y'all are in now, y'all are kind of bill yourself as
From New Orleans.
Yeah, and the style and all of that is part of it.
Well, when you think of New Orleans music, you think the second line and that kind of thing. My dad's a professional musician, still plays New Orleans music, jazz, everything. There's a New Orleans punk band, The Cold. So that was probably one of my biggest influences, and Vance DeGeneres being the bass player.
Vance, yeah.
So when I was, before I joined, Donuts or Metal Rose, anything, and trying to find the guys to partner, we would do a bunch of Cold, we would cover Cold songs, and I would listen to the bass line. I was playing guitar.
Yeah.
So, so guys like Vance DeGeneres, who was, you wouldn't think of like New Orleans, but
He's
that's
an influence,
that's
absolutely.
but that's a New Orleans musician.
George
It's a
Porter,
New
of
Orleans-
course.
Of course, George Porter.
Meters.
Yeah.
Dash Rip Rock for us
Dash-
too. A huge
Dash was
influence.
my other-
Huge.
How much do you attribute the New Orleans influence on y'all to your success? I think that's what I'm asking.
A lot.
Is just in all
A lot.
Metal
I think-
Rose, everything you've done, that New Orleans influence, is it?
I think part of our sound is the syncopation, and that comes from the street bands and the Meters and the Neville Brothers and everything, and the Cold, all that stuff that he's talking about. I think it filtered into us, and a band like Dash Rip Rock that like that reckless abandon, but like Bill was such a genius with literature, so there was that sort of smart comedy and all that stuff. Like Crew de Vue is a crew that is total satire.
Yes.
Is their whole thing. It's all about jabbing people. So
Yeah.
the city, it filters in all kind of different ways. Mardi Gras has always been a big influence, like for all of us.
And I hadn't realized till we started traveling in those early days with Metal Rose, every place we went to, they found out we were from New Orleans.
They're like,
that was so
right.
cool. Y'all
Right?
From New Orleans?
It was like you
That's
had
like,
a
I didn't think it
card
was
you
that
could
big of a
play.
deal.
Cool card.
Yeah, you had a
Cool card.
I've used
That's a
that
great, yes,
just
he's right
by
about
being
that.
from the
It gives you
city.
I
credibility
didn't know it
almost
until we were
instantly.
gone. It was
Yeah.
like, everybody thinks it's cool from being from New Orleans.
Yeah, which that's
So to me, if you take us out of the city and we all grew up in Des Moines, Iowa, it's a completely different band.
yeah.
Well, now we're not going to get a gig in Des Moines.
Way to go, Bobo.
Metal Rose never did play in Des Moines, so I guess
Yeah.
we're not really losing any markets.
Yeah, you see, Bobo's
Happen now.
But from what I understand, Bobo's been saying the wrong things since the beginning, right? Like he had a little bit of a dirty mouth in the early ages.
little.
of,
Yo,
In fact,
Too.
dude, I tell you what, like it's only been.
my favorite part
Please,
is when
please,
when the donuts are playing and y'all will be playing and then you'll say something just totally inappropriate and Jerry's face is the best thing to watch at those sounds. He's like, Jesus, Bobby, like right? Like
try not to make him
got
nervous.
his drink.
Well, listen,
I do a lot of damage control.
I know you do.
I think I'm at a point now in my career where like I've dropped a lot of vulgarity.
Yeah.
But you are right, and that
hard.
was a thing in Metal Rose, and it didn't matter back then because we were young and playing college.
Yeah.
But I was a cocksucking motherfucker
Yeah.
on microphone all the
Yeah,
time.
you had to let that go.
Well,
Like,
and you
I'm
know what?
with you.
It's kind of rebellious language, and we were
Yeah.
playing to like a lot of young crowds, and they
Yeah.
ate it up. So sorry.
Yeah, Jesus, Bobby.
I got kids now, man. I got fucking kids
It's
now.
like, yeah, believe me. It was like, and I'm not talking about years ago. I'm talking about like 3 months ago.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
saw Jerry go, God damn, Bobby.
shaking his head.
But I probably said something that like towed the line,
Yeah.
not that completely jumped
Yeah,
over.
no, I
Because back
wasn't
then,
cocksucker or anything.
Sorry, Jerry.
Those ones where you go,
Yeah.
That was close.
Because Jerry's the ones that got to deal with him at the end, right?
That's what you said about damage control.
You get to go back and.
Thanks, Jerry. Dance party on the Bago. Jerry, look, I'm sorry about the lead singer.
Well, look, man, I'm glad y'all came on tonight. I really am, because the main reason is that I really.
Thanks for asking, by the
Well, I really want Thursday to be a success. So anybody who's watching, listening, we will be posting this the rest of the week and pushing it out there. Metal Rose. It's a really amazing band. Dave Rosser will be there. Darren will be there. And you're talking about two heavy hitters amongst a bunch of other heavy hitters. So Thursday night, the show starts at 9 p.m. sharp. Do not wait to come after that. 9 p.m. is when the music
That's
starts.
what's going to happen.
Right?
And I just want to say one last thing. Thank you. George, thank you.
Thank you,
Of course.
Shice.
Of
Cheese.
course.
And the last thing I'll say, this is partially because of what Dave was going through. I'm not going to lie. I think that we all want to try to get in
Of course.
anything that we can.
Yeah.
And like I saw him like 2 days ago. He looks great. But it's also about, it's not just that. It's a little bit of that. But it's also when we would do our annual Thanksgiving gig, we would joke like, this might be the last time we ever do it. Like,
Right,
we
when you
don't,
do it once
we
a
don't
year.
know when we're getting back
Right.
together. There's no plan.
Might not happen anymore. 'Cause
All that we do know is every time that it happens, it's special, and so we
It
just
is.
want to celebrate that.
It is.
So if anybody that wants to just be a part of that, it's 2 hours on a Thursday night. Come start your weekend early.
Yeah.
Encore.
It's going to be a good
It'll
time.
be a good time.
And I'm with you on that. I do personally. I feel it is special, and it's good every time. So Thursday night, there ain't nothing else going on this weekend. Right?
Darren, hope you're done moving by then.
Yeah. So,
yeah, Darren.
Thursday night, 9 o'clock. Get y'all asses out there. Let's shake some ass. It's Metal Rose. Let's have some fun. Thank y'all for coming out. Until next
Thank you.
time, it's been Wine and Cheese.
Wine and cheese. Keep it
Yeah.
up.
Ding, ding.
See y'all on Thursday. Thank you.
Also.